Welcome to Pride Against Prejudice, a Shadowrun 4th edition actual play podcast.
Hi, I'm Simon and I'm playing Huggy Bear.
Hi, I'm Al and I'll be playing Maverick.
Hi, I'm Jack and I play Toyger.
Hi, I'm Michael and I'll be playing Sunshine.
And my name is Rhydian, I am the GM. If you would like any bonus content, a link to our living campaign map can be found in the show notes, along with a link to our Discord where you can get occasional bonus episodes, and if you'd like to add locations to the map or just ask us questions, you're welcome to join us there. If you stick about for a few seconds at the end of the episode, we also have a question for you as well. Following content may contain themes and materials not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Before we dive into the episode, here's some pay data on another one of the Shadowrun podcasts out there for you to listen to.
Good day, citizens of Chicago. This is Oakley Wildwood, your anchor at Goldleaf News Network, bringing you the latest developments from the heart of the UCAS. And now for the news. The Chicago Containment Zone is witnessing a surge in kidnappings that has left the city on edge. Travel in groups for safety, folks. A good crew could be what gives you the edge to make it to your next paycheck. The streets are witnessing a spike in vehicle thefts and carjackings, leaving everything from jackrabbits to delivery trucks as smoldering, bullet-ridden scrap heaps. Lone Star PD advises secure private parking whenever possible. But in Chicago, even the safest of places can become a battleground. On a more hopeful note, the ghoul communities of Cabrini Green are uniting, driven by a hunger for justice. Vigilantes targeting infected citizens have been escalating tensions, promising violence if they do not leave the city. Those sympathetic to the ghoul cause have offered support by providing donations and offering security, though officials assure that they seek a non-violent resolution to the conflict. There's a lot going on in 2080's Chicago. Stay informed, stay safe, and stay with us by tuning in to Bug City Blues, a Shadowrun 6th World Edition actual play podcast, wherever fine podcasts are found. Now, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
The team put the first pieces of their plan to steal from the NYPD Inc. precinct into action. Huggy makes a new contact, and Toyger breaks one of the rules of Shadowrunning. Fortunately, it's not that rule.
As I recall, we all went for a quick nap before we were going to see Giuseppe.
Right.
So we probably wake up in a van round the corner from Giuseppe's at about the time we're supposed to go see Giuseppe.
So it was around 6 in the morning. What time do you want to go around Giuseppe's? What time would you have arranged?
He gave us a time that was in about 2 hours, I believe.
So, okay. So 8 a.m. You go around there for the breakfast run, do you?
That's awfully convenient, yes.
Fantastic. So is it just Sunshine that's going in, or is anybody else going in to see Giuseppe?
Huggy will not be going in.
All right.
Fair, I'm gonna go. Toyger, you coming?
Yes, of course. Cannoli is to die for.
I don't think cannoli's really a breakfast thing, is it?
Anything can be a breakfast thing, if you're depressed enough.
I mean, fair enough.
Are you really going to commit that kind of heresy in front of Giuseppe? He will tie concrete blocks to your feet and throw you into the river. He might even let you choose which river, given that we're in New York and there's hundreds of them.
If he won't give me breakfast cannoli, he'll suggest a much better breakfast option. Or he will just say, a sale is a sale, and give me breakfast cannoli. Either way, I win.
You head in, there's a very, very large guy with a poorly concealed pistol in his jacket sat right next to the door. There's the two Puerto Rican guys at the back playing dominoes. Do they ever leave here? They're here whenever anybody comes here, just quietly playing dominoes. And Giuseppe's at the back. You can see that he's chatting with somebody younger dude and also looks Italian-American.
So yeah, go in and... Can we see Giuseppe? Is he about?
Yep, he's up the back in a booth.
Okay, we'll go and sit down next to him.
Okay, so when you head over there, he and the other guy fall silent. He nods to him and says, "We'll finish this up later." "Hello, this is the time we arranged to meet. I apologize, time got away from me, business. My last appointment took a little longer than I anticipated, huh? Please, take a seat,
Sounded like it.
Yeah, stubborn guy. We reached an accommodation, you know? Maria!" And there's just rapid-fire Italian as he shouts across to the cafe. There's a lot of very angry Italian comes back from the kitchen. There's a lot of hand gestures for a few minutes. Does anybody speak Italian?
Nope.
How is it that my Enochian can start small fires, but whatever it is that those two are saying cannot?
Because that's just Italian. They're also probably not awakened.
Yeah, fairly soon, somebody comes out of the kitchen with a tray of pastries and coffees and sets them down on the table. Giuseppe hits the white noise generator and he sits with his coffee for a moment. One of you goes to speak and he just holds his hand up for a second, takes a sip, and then says, "Okay, now we can talk."
So, Seppi, you're a well-connected man. You may be able to get us what we're looking for at the moment.
I mean, I'd like to think so, but what are you after? It's gonna depend, huh?
Police sins and uniforms.
His eyes widen a little bit and he drops his voice for a moment and says, "You don't fragging ask much, do you, huh?"
Yeah, you know how things go in the shadows.
I mean,
we're trying to...
put your head into the lion's den, huh?
That's the job. We're trying to do this quietly.
Yeah, that's probably for the best for the entire community. He has a think for a few moments and then says, "Okay, what you're asking for? We ain't gonna be able to use like a crappy rating 1 sin or something like that. We're gonna have to go big or go home, huh?"
Yeah, I know.
I'm thinking you're looking for 5 or better, yeah?
At least, yeah. I mean, it's going to need full biometrics. They're going to need to match. It's going to...
Yeah.
And,
I mean...
And whoever's faking them up for us needs access to the right database. They need to have the right codes attached. This is not... I know this is not an easy ask, but if anyone knows someone in NYPD Inc. who could facilitate such a transaction, I figure you're the man in this city.
Oh, madam, you flatter me. That will get you a long way, but I don't know if it'll get you into a police station, huh? Well, actually, no, it's a lot easier to get in. Rabbit holes. So, I know a few guys. We can arrange it. How long it's gonna take? We're gonna have to see, but I might be able to get you what you're looking for. How many are you looking at?
I look around the table and go, 3?
Probably 3.
Okay. Could I get a negotiation roll? I just need to quickly find Giuseppe's character sheet.
If I could request an assist from Toyger.
Yeah, of course.
Do I have negotiation as a skill? I think I do. Where's my fracking character sheet?
I'm going to go ahead and pre-edge this.
That's fine.
I think that's a good idea.
I've achieved 1 single hit of assistance.
Yep, every little helps.
2 hits of negotiation help.
Cool.
What does Mav say to help sway?
Mav points out that we're gonna do this subtle like. We have done subtle before. Particularly the train job, where nobody knew that was us. We did leave a few small holes in a train.
How many hits did people get on the assists?
1 hit.
2 hits.
So a total of +3 on negotiation.
Yep. You will also get your loyalty with Giuseppe as a bonus.
Do I really only have him at loyalty 1?
You've only met him once, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Right, submit. 4 hits. Oh, that was a trash roll.
How many dice did you just throw?
9 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3. I got 4 hits.
4 plus 3, I can see.
Yeah, but exploding 6s.
Yeah.
So you have 1 net hit. So he thinks for a few moments and says, okay, so given the nature of what we're getting here, I ain't gonna be able to, knock the price down much, but I'll do what I can. You want rating 5, eh? Or do you want to go for the 6?
I mean, 6 would be better. It's just a question of money and time.
Alright.
From what we can gather, they have all manner of external forces like FBI sorts from all over the country coming and going.
Yeah.
Honestly, a few extra officers from out of town creeping in and
you
making a mess.
You're looking to commit creative suicide. Okay, so I'll see if I can get you 6s.
6s if you can. Mav.
I mean, I gotta get my money's worth before you go and die in a police station,
What was our time limit for the overall job?
A week, I think?
You're currently on the 9th. You have up to the 14th.
So less than a week.
We have 5 days. That is quite a tight time limit.
Okay. I will see what I can do for you.
Yep.
I will aim to get you the 6.
Yeah.
But I make no promises.
Yeah. Well, guys, fill up your arrows. Just send Giuseppe your biometadata.
Price-wise, we're gonna be... This ain't an ordinary sin, so it's gonna cost a little more, huh? They'd normally be 5,000 apiece. We're looking at about 5,500.
Okay. That's what it costs.
I wish I could do better for you, but
yep. Giuseppe, we're asking a lot here. We understand.
Yeah. Alright, so I am just going to quickly do the extended test for Giuseppe. I need to just check his connection rating. Ooh. Yeah, Giuseppe was the man to go to for this. His connection rating...
Connection 4.
No, he's connection 5.
I think did one of the teams did a job that bumped him up a rating? Possibly?
Yeah, your girlfriend's team did a job that pushed him into rating connection 5.
What was
ex-girlfriend?
Ex-girlfriend. It wasn't her that did it. It was that crazy mother fragger Grim. But hey ho, you're reaping the benefits. Okie doke. So Giuseppe says, "Excuse me a moment. Enjoy the coffee. I need to, go make a phone call." So he disappears off for a few moments into the back, and there's a brief, very loud argument in Italian, and then goes back to normal background level noise. He's in there for a few minutes, comes back out, sits down, puts his comlink on the table, and says, "Okay, I have had a talk with my guy. You, ladies and gentlemen, are in fragging luck. I can get it for you in 3 days."
Giuseppe, you're a miracle worker.
I know. Coast Guard, police sins. Who's the guy, huh? Who's the guy?
You are, Giuseppe.
I know. And this time you're paying in cold hard cash. I am not averse. I am not averse to a favor, huh? I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
I think cash will be fine, Giuseppe.
I thought you would say that. I'm disappointed, but I thought you would say that.
If, in the future, you have work you would like us to do, we are very open to...
Paying gigs.
I mean, he looks at Mav. I ain't got nothing involving a bullet train for you. But I'm sure we can find something. And I'll be honest, some of the guys I've worked with recently, they're not up to scratch with you and that other team that we sent on that train job, eh?
Mav just gets a brief look of, What the fuck? Because he knows the quality of the people that did the train job. They were weirdos.
I mean, I sent these guys on a simple data run. Just data retrieval, go into a corporate facility, get me some tasty pay data, huh? Simple.
Mm-hmm.
Simple.
Who takes a fragging panther assault cannon on one of those? Who uses this as their method of entry through the windows?
Amateurs.
Enthusiastic amateurs, I'll grant you, but frag me, amateurs.
Spectacular amateurs.
I mean, my first question is, for such an obviously rookie team, where the fuck do they even get that?
I don't want to know.
I mean,
Needless to say, HDR were there in, less than a minute. And they brought their own fragging panther assault cannons, and that building now looks like it's in Beirut.
It distresses me greatly to hear the tribulations you have suffered of late.
Thank you. You know, this is why I like you.
Gandalf Greyholm. Sorry, the tone you used for that was just bang on for Grima Wormtongue there, Guppy.
Anyway, so, idiots aside, I'm gonna need this in advance. This Decker, he's a good guy, but fussy, you know?
We get it.
Yeah.
He's freelance. I mean, sometime down the road, if you could maybe, if I give you his name, you could maybe get me something over him. That'd be good, yeah. I'd still be paying him, but it's just to facilitate relationships, you know?
I say, paying gig down the road, give us a shout.
I shall bear it in mind.
For now, we are otherwise engaged.
Of course.
I
I will phone you in 3 days.
Yep.
Swing by the cafe. We will get these fresh, shiny new sins of yours linked up to your...
What about uniforms?
Yeah.
Now, those are comparatively easy. I wouldn't be totally surprised if you actually had some... Your organization had some in stock.
I can neither confirm nor deny. We should be able to sort those out for you. I'll need to make sure that the numbers match your sins, you know?
Of course.
And I'll make sure to get those special quick detach numbers that they like so much, you know?
The ones that fall off accidentally at the most opportune of moments.
I know. You'd have thought with their budget they'd be able to invest in proper clips to hold them on, but no. And then oranges and socks. What is the world coming to?
Oh Lord, give me the wisdom to remember to turn off my body cam before I shoot an innocent.
You know, the policeman's prayer.
The state of the world. So, I can get uniforms. They're a lot cheaper. I can get you those for, say, $500 apiece.
Yeah, we can do that.
Wonderful. Again, I will require payment in advance. Do you want those at the same time as the sins, or...?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'll need some sizing information.
But just, Giuseppe, we're sending you our biometadata for the sins. That includes your sizes. Your sin has everything in it now, Chummer.
Yeah, but the sin, it doesn't get the right fit, you know? I mean, Giuseppe's suit is fragging immaculate, and he looks you over and says, I mean, you do look like you could use some sartorial attention.
Toyger goes
I take that as a personal insult, sir.
I know a very good tailor.
So Toyger goes in about the pockets of his jacket, which is comprised almost entirely of pockets, and pulls out like a little white card. On one side is the logo and symbol of Kogo, which are like this high fashion house owned by Wuxing. And on the other side are like his exact measurements from like inseam to shoulder width and everything. And along the top it's his full name, but it's like Cecil, 17 different letters, de Peralta, and he just hands that over to Giuseppe very calmly and kindly.
Toyger, I'm going to ask you something here.
Uh-huh.
Are you sure you want to hand your full name to the mafioso?
I mean, my thing got burned. Like, we can chalk this up as Toyger being
An idiot.
arrogant and having other things on his mind at the minute, not just counting the job. Also, Giuseppe might know the name, and what's it called? Family name.
All right.
thing.
You want to do this? You can do this. I'll beat with it later.
Privileged family name. There we go.
I would like it noted that Huggy has not given the mafiosi her real name.
Huggy is sensible. Huggy chooses life. Giuseppe takes it, looks at it casually, and does that double take as he realizes what's on there. And the eyebrows go up as he clocks the name, and he looks at you and says, "Not many would hand me that. Not many have that name."
I'm going to have need of services that I'm not going to be able to pay for soon. I will be owing you favors, and you will have things over my head soon enough. I'd rather get it out of the way now.
All right. If that's the way you want to do this, we can do it that way. I might have a couple of little tasks in mind. We'll find out down the road.
For
So,
what it's worth, we're Shadowrunners. We can change names as easily as we change clothes.
something tells me he's never going to get away from that name. Anyway, we'll get you the uniforms. And Cecil, really? Did your parents hate you that much?
Oh, you have no idea how much my parents hated me.
All right. These guys, Kogo, fragging amateurs.
Yes, but I was measured at least twice a year, every year for most of my life, so they're up to date.
I will introduce you to my guy. He is an artiste. These guys, they just take the measurements, mass produce, drones. This guy, everything by hand.
I look forward to meeting him.
All right, so, is there anything else I can help with today, or shall we conclude our breakfast, because I do have another appointment?
I think we're done.
Biscotti on the bill?
Madam, the food, that's on the house. That's just the cost of doing business.
We did just give this guy like 18,000 credits. He's not going to charge us
Yeah.
Credits?
new yen. We did just give this guy like 18,000 new yen. He's not going to charge us for the snacks.
Yeah, so total bill is 5,500 for each of the three.
Plus another 500 per the uniforms.
Yep, so that's 6 grand for each of the three, so 18 grand total.
I told you.
Toyger,
Yes,
you're rich.
I'm really not, but I can't say no to puppy dog eyes. And I owe you enormously.
Can I borrow $1.50 till the end of the week?
You can borrow $1.50 and never give me it back.
Deal.
Giuseppe looks at you and says, I mean, failing that, I do credit.
I will be incurring a great deal of credit with you shortly.
I look forward to it. I look forward to it.
Ci vediamo presto, signore. And Toyger stands up and leaves.
Giuseppe doesn't reply, because I don't speak Italian.
What did you just say?
We'll be seeing each other again soon.
Insert something appropriately Italian here, because I don't speak Italian.
We'll be seeing each other again soon in Italian. Just has these overtones to it.
Either means that you're getting married or somebody's going to die or both.
It's a mafia wedding. Why not both?
Yeah, right about the time they catch the Don's son and his second daughter doing something they shouldn't. Actually, no, they'd probably approve of that. The daughter of, like, the rival family. Like,
Yeah.
right, So you've had a very nice breakfast and spent a frag lot of new yen.
But we do get to keep a very expensive police sin after this, provided we don't get it burned immediately.
I'm fully expecting this to get burned immediately. We have just bought, a rather nice car's worth of 20 minutes.
Yep.
But think of the chaos we could cause in 20 minutes.
Toyger, round about this time, as you say that, you feel your mentor spirit just kind of press on your consciousness, and the mental image you're getting is of doing the equivalent in a police station of pushing a full glass of water off in a nice crystal vase off onto a tiled floor from a table.
Indeed, Your Grace, indeed.
What's that, Toyger?
Indeed, Your Grace, indeed.
Who?
Who are you talking to? What?
Pardon? What?
Yeah.
Ugh, he's being weird again.
I'm always weird, Mav, and then Mav gets a big hug, and then Toyger sort of struts off towards the van.
You know what? I prefer this to the whole abacus of demonic dark ritual.
Yeah.
It's not demonic dark ritual. Not everything made out of human bones and teeth is demonic dark ritual.
That thing is extremely cursed, Toyger.
If you'd learned how to sense, you would know that it's not even remotely cursed.
It's cursed in the most mundane fashion.
It is literally just made out of the teeth of people I have killed.
That's cursed, Toyger.
Not all of them are dead. It's the teeth of people I have met.
That makes it worse.
I'm so tempted to make you roll composure.
Do it.
Right, why not? Go on.
Don't encourage him.
Who's rolling composure? Me?
Everyone talking to Toyger.
3 hits.
1 hit.
Mav, you've seen and heard worse.
Sunshine, count those dice.
Yes.
That's a glitch. It's a glitch on 1 hit. You can suddenly just feel every individual tooth in your mouth. Just.
Toyger gets a load of very quick, low-impact slaps to the back of the head.
I don't want your teeth. Thank you. At the moment. Stop hitting me.
Stop being weird.
Toyger suddenly reaches up and grab. So, Toyger has waist-length black hair that's usually in a braid. He suddenly reaches up and grabs the base of it. It's hang on, if I'm a police officer, do I need to cut my hair off?
Put it under the cap.
Grabs waist-length braid and suddenly whacks Sunshine in the face with that. How am I going to fit this under a hat?
Mav, roll that skill for me, please.
Noted. I was already aiming for it. 1 hit. I believe police regulations have exceptions for cultural significance.
I am white as the driven privilege.
All right, I'll let you keep that one. That's quite good.
What culture do you think I'm going to belong to, Mav? If I have any culture, it's one I've appropriated from someone.
What was that, Huggy? I didn't hear.
Yogurt.
Right. So you have some uniforms and sins due in 3 days. Toyger's stressing out about his hairdo a little bit. What are you doing in the meantime?
How can we set up for this job?
It might be worthwhile getting a hold of one of those little spy-y, hackery drone things, and Huggy can set it loose in the station.
A wiretapper, are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, Sunshine can try and get a hold of us at can try and get a hold of the information that we're wanting, that we're being paid for. Huggy can maybe try and grab some extra pay data, sell it to Giuseppe, trade it to Giuseppe, cause general havoc in the police station.
All of these are things that I am open to.
You know how we were querying if maybe that Humanist gang had any links to the coppers? If we can find that information, Huggy, you could give it to those lovely troll gentlemen that you were telling us about. What are they called? The
Crimson something?
like the blood magpies or something? Scarlet jackdaws?
They were orcs, and they were the Crimson Ravens.
I was not paying attention.
That is evident.
Yes, if we can find out, if we can get like some sort of evidence that they're working for the Steel Hammerers or whatever were working for the policemen, we can just say, hey, look, we have incontrovertible evidence. If you want to start a little gang war, do it under our auspices.
We have auspices now.
I zoned out for half a second and came back to gang war under your auspices.
You didn't miss much.
I'm extremely auspicious.
Huggy, give me a gang-related knowledge roll.
That's 3 hits.
They don't need incontrovertible evidence to start a gang war.
I was thinking that
A funny look will do it.
Toyger, you seem to have great, have a very high opinion of what is considered, of what's the word? There's a fancy Latin phrase.
Process?
No.
Casus belli?
Casus belli amongst the gangs. They don't need a reason to start a gang war. Somebody got bored is a reason to start a gang war. Somebody woke up on the wrong side of the bed is a reason to stop a gang war. Gang wars don't need reasons. Gang wars just happen.
But they can be like, hey, other local gangs, look, evidence that these guys work for the police. Let's all band together and kick 7 shades of Drek out of them. And then possibly go get pizza afterwards. And I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what gangs get up to. The most fearsome gang in my hometown was the local chess club.
Okay, so you remember you've been working with us for a little bit of time now, Toyger.
Yes.
You've met the Crimson Chainsaws.
Blue chainsaws?
Crimson Chainsaws, the Chainsaws.
I've more than met them. Like, Toyger, shrugs his jacket off, turns around, and, lifts up his shirt so you can see his Blue Chainsaws tramp stamp.
You definitely... Oh, wow. You really... Oh, Jesus.
When did you get that, Toyger?
Do you remember when you left me with them, and I had nothing to do but drink and be sad?
Okay,
I was going to say that was awesome. And now you've reminded me of Luna.
So... You've seen what they can do to... You know that they carry monofilament chainsaws, right?
Yes.
And you know that they use monofilament chainsaws on people, right?
Well, people who have it coming.
Okay, so the description of people who have it coming is anyone who is in their turf and hasn't paid some protection money.
I mean, they do occasionally go on, hunting trips, and there's this Humanist-linked gang in, the next suburb over, and they just go and find one in the street and abduct him, drag him back to the scrapyard, set him loose, set the drones on him, get skid marks on him.
I think at least one of you have seen Ripper playing 5-finger fillet with a person and the chainsaw in his arm.
Yeah, I have. He was good at it. I was surprised. The guy lasted a lot longer than I was expecting.
Especially given how drunk Ripper was.
Yeah, but I mean, that's wired reflexes for you.
Yeah, he seemed to get better the drunker he was. It was...
In any case, the point I'm making is that gangs are not like a chess club. They don't have the intricate political... Well, they sometimes do. But generally speaking, they don't need reasons to get into wars with each other. If I hand these people incontrovertible evidence that they were working for the cops, what they're going to say is, yeah, we always knew they were working for the cops. Shall we keep killing them like we always do?
I don't know.
If we wanted to provoke an actual gang war, on our timetable, what we need to hand in is advantage, not evidence.
Which I can do.
What are you thinking, Huggy?
I've already made my plan fairly obvious. If a gang war suits our purposes, then we go over to the Crimson Ravens, and I go, "Hi, I want to roll this gang that has links to the cops. Who's with me?"
And then the gang asks you and whose army.
And then Hansel and Gretel rise from my shoulders with guns mounted.
And then you can append it with, also, I have these spirits that my mage friend lent me, and I don't know, I conjure you some spirits to have a loan off.
In any case, we can certainly cause a distraction. We've rolled one gang, I don't think a second is going to be too much trouble.
You can even call in some favors.
I mean, do we have any favors in this half of town?
No, but you never know.
It's always good to have a few friends.
We could always use friends.
I don't have any friends here yet. I would quite like to have some friends here.
There are no strangers, only friends you haven't made yet.
Making friends and influencing people with 7.62 ammo.
There are friends I haven't made yet, and corpses I haven't made yet.
How to make friends and influence people with, dark magic.
You can both make friends and make friends with dark magic.
How to make friends with nothing but a stitching kit and black magic.
Look, homunculi are not that easy to make. You need, piles of horse manure, weird plants, the semen of a hanged man. There's effort that goes into it. It's not a sort of thing you can do by accident.
What are we doing next? Are we going to go talk to the street gangs? Are we going to go haunt a cop shop?
Collect the semen of a hanged man.
I'm vetoing that one, straight up. Right now.
I'm in agreement.
Does a hanged man need to be dead? Because I've known some weird people in my time.
I don't think so. I think it actually works better if they're alive. And we also need a pile of horse manure to take it in.
Toyger.
Stop talking.
Veto.
Awakened mandrakes. And Toyger's also Toyger's he's got fingers to temples. No. I memorized this recipe for a term paper. It will come back to me. And he's sitting there desperately trying to remember something.
Okay, so while Toyger's remembering that, let's
run away and never come back.
Something about the heart's blood of a young mother. It's coming back to me.
Okay, so what is the actual plan here?
We will look like cops, except for you, but you're a drone cover.
Yeah. And also, I can't lie to save my life, so...
Neither can I, but hopefully we can get by on protocol.
Yeah, and also, exactly how many trolls are in NYPD Inc?
More than you'd think.
Most of them are on the front line.
Turns out that when you can punch your way through a brick wall, people will occasionally look the other way when they need someone to punch their way through a brick wall.
Fair, but there's a fair few orcs in NYPD Inc. You see them often enough. You don't see many trolls out as forgettable beat cops.
They tend to be highly memorable beat cops. There's emphasis on the beat.
Yeah.
The trolls go on the fast response teams.
Yeah.
As do most of the orcs.
And we are trying to be a boring team. Also, we're going to need a fast getaway.
Well, that I can probably manage.
You're our vehicle, girl.
Damn good at it, too.
Lean, mean queen of machines.
I'm not sure that lean is quite appropriate, but mean I'll take, and queen of machines I will definitely take.
We need to get you a little crown.
That, or you could just make me a patch for the back of my jacket.
I was thinking about getting you one of those for your birthday. I had a couple of different designs, and Toyger starts flicking through his comm link where he's got some doodles. It's I thought this gear with the wings and the little crown over it was quite cute. But I don't know how to sew. But yes, imagine this as a patch.
I can imagine that as a patch, it could work.
Yeah, we can get if we ever figure out what our runner team name is, we could put that in scroll work along the bottom, and we could all have one.
Identifying badges are fine for gangs, not so great for, Shadowrun teams. The idea is that we don't get identified.
Oh, I know, but still, it's fun to pretend. The closest thing I ever had to a gang patch was this little badge, and again goes into a pocket and comes out. This little badge that I got from the Croquet Society for getting barred from the Croquet Society. And he holds up a little badge. It's got a picture of a croquet mallet with the words "not welcome" written around it.
How did you get banned from a Croquet Society, Toyger?
One of the ladies at the Croquet Society called me a common thug, so I summoned a powerful spirit to ruin the croquet lawns and to eat her dog.
Two things. Number one, you have a gang patch on your lower back now.
I mean, it's not really a gang patch.
That counts. Secondly, what's a croquet?
It's a little thing with potatoes and the stuff inside it.
Those are croquettes. Croquet is a game where you take little hammers and balls, and you strike the hammers with the little balls and try and roll them through little arches. I never bothered to learn the rules. I just joined the society.
Wait. So you hold the ball and then you hit the hammer? That sounds very like that.
This sounds like rich people dreck.
Yeah, this sounds like rich people nonsense.
Like golf, but boring. But more boring.
Ooh, Sunshine, did you ever have to do any weird Alice in Wonderland stuff in your old job? I know it's really popular and common. Or did you ever see any of the umpteen-million SimSense things where you play as Alice in Wonderland when she gets super high?
Where is this going?
So, you know how you get to the bit where the Red Queen is running around on a lawn and there's all those people holding flamingos whacking hedgehogs? That's croquet.
Animal cruelty?
This just sounds like animal cruelty. What? Were you in a club that used to beat up hedgehogs, you fragging monster?
The hedgehogs and the flamingos were already dead, and also they were, not real.
I'm even more confused now.
So, also, I'm slightly confused as to where this functions in our plan to get into the police station.
It doesn't.
I really can't remember.
Yeah. Okay, look, we've got the infiltration-y side of stuff mostly covered. We still need, a reason to be in there, but we can come back to that. What are we doing with this gang?
Possibly nothing. Possibly distraction to thin out the ground in the station.
It gets some people out of the police station. That's the only thing that it would be useful for. And I get to substitute some racists, which I enjoy.
Sure, but potentially this is putting the place on more alert, which we maybe don't want.
Possibly.
But also, what are you doing once you get in there? We have our infiltration plan. We don't have a plan for what we do once we get in there, and we don't have an exfiltration plan.
The exfiltration plan is hopefully... The good exfiltration plan is that we walk back out the front door.
Like we have every right to be there?
Yes, because we did nothing wrong while we were in there. Or so they think.
Okay, so what have you done while you're in there?
We either need to legitimately access the question, Rhydian.
Answer.
The map that you've given us.
Yes.
Does it have the bit with the bit the FBI have taken over marked on it? Because I can't see it.
Also, is the FBI bit of the system that we need to get the data from, do we know if that's air-gap?
We don't, but we know we don't want to go in through the main host because the main host is bullshit.
Mav, could you roll that skill for me?
2 hits.
All right, with 2 hits, looking at the floor plan you've managed to obtain, there's a bit that says detectives. There's not really anywhere else that is big enough that they could have set aside for the FBI, so you think they're probably going to be chucked in there with the detectives.
That's quite a lot of ground, and we don't...
What were our mission objectives again?
We're to acquire some data on the Pride Parade bombing investigation.
You know, here, how's this for an idea? We go in with police sins. We are obviously not from this station,
or they'd know us.
Yeah. But we go in and actually just ask us, look, guys, Scuttlebutt says the investigation into Pride bombing is happening here. Look, we were there on the day. It was bad. Can we get a pokey behind the scenes? Find just where are you guys up to with this?
That is so far against procedures.
Man, Drek like this goes on all the time. Okay, look, there's a guy used to spend some time with, and he worked for Doc Wagon. And he just tell me all the time, they'd have a case, they'd, drop a patient off, and then next time they're back round to the hospital, they'd just ask and go, look, what was the outcome on this patient? Everyone does it all the time.
I think you are mistaking NYPD Inc. for a hospital.
I don't know. They tend to have a lot of injured people in their receiving room.
I mean, my plan was go and say, hey, we've been seconded here from insert other police station. Honestly, like the sergeant said, something about the bombing. We know sweet fuck all. Sunshine here's a tech specialist. I don't know, you need a cop name. I don't know. What are police officers called?
Well, I think we'll find out when Giuseppe gives us our IDs,
I think Toyger's onto a winner. We turn up, we go to the front desk, we say, we were seconded to this investigation. Who do we report to? How do we find out what's going on?
If they're actually sitting on the investigation, then it would be somewhat unsurprising that they got seconded 3 people who have no idea what they're doing.
Yep, because if people actually got seconded onto this investigation, they're not going to pick people who are keen, who know what they're doing.
They're going to pick folk who care as little about the Pride bombing as everyone else. I mean, just, hey, Sunshine deals with tech, send it to your techies. Mav is Lorge, send him to where you send your Lorge boys. Toyger's a wizard, make him go play with the Ifrits you've got hanging around up here. Give all of us one of those little proby scuttly bugs and just release it wherever we think it will do the most mischief.
We might not even need to. They might give us clearance.
Still fun to cause mischief.
We're going to need, at the very least, a written order from our...
Someone, true. At least a version at our end that they can not find and go, obviously it's lost in paperwork. This never happens.
3 actual officers show up, say, we were seconded from this place by... whoever. That's the thing we could do. We could walk into a random police station, ask to speak to the desk sergeant, ask for his name, and then just say, hey, we were seconded here by Sergeant What's-His-Tits from wherever. And they'll be like, oh, we didn't have a transfer order. It's like, this is the 4th time this has happened to us this week.
Don't put a name on it. Names are bad.
Names means that they can start calling people.
Trace it back to an actual person.
Ridge, do I know which station Karl Pinckney was based at?
You probably would.
Because we could just claim to be from there.
It'll be one of the Brooklyn ones. I can't be bothered to look up a list of Brooklyn PD station precincts right now, so I'm just going to say that he's from the 99th, because I know that that's fictional.
99?
99! He's clearly the Scully of the station in that era.
I still think the scuttlebugs are a good idea.
If we can't get given access, the scuttlebugs are probably our best shot, and I can't believe you just made me say that word.
Scuttlebugs, it's a fun word.
Tapper drones. Wire-tapper drones.
So, if we get into the station and Sunshine's the one that gets near the data we need to want, it's no problem. What if, like, they send Sunshine out to do, like, weird policeman stuff, or if they send me or Mav into where the computers are? I can barely work my comlink. I'm not going to be able to get that information.
I don't want to do weird policeman stuff again. Cufflinks always leave you weird marks around your... Oh, sorry, you didn't mean that.
Yes, I mean the other weird policeman stuff, like, you know, arresting someone on suspicion of being trog while in public.
Yeah. Driving whilst at work. Yeah, the usual.
Yeah, so if Sunshine gets any of the data, it's fine, because she can just do her computer sorcery, which is different to regular sorcery. If it's me or Mav, we're going to need some other way of getting the data out.
We all carry tapper bugs.
Technically what I do is computer sorcery, according to what was his name, Paimon said the other day?
Ion.
Yeah, that guy.
Paimon's a demon, and much less friendly.
No, don't... You're talismonger guy.
Yeah, the Scandal-weebgian extraordinaire.
Yeah, the... You know...
Who is
Your catty
Pion,
friend.
not Paimon.
He's supremely not catty. Yeah, thing you're going to have to learn eventually. Mentor spirits. Ending up with one, supremely easy. Pissing them off to the point where they abandon you is supremely difficult. I can count on one hand the number of times I've seen it happen. I can count on one finger the number of times I've seen it happen.
I'm assuming you're not including the times that you've seen it happen in threads.
No. No, there's usually less the dramatic, they appear in a puff of smoke and give a "this is the reason you suck" speech. It's usually they just leave you and take most of your magic with it when they go. Unexpectedly and for no reason. Yeah, no, they don't tell you what the reason is, and they very rarely get the chance to redeem yourself before you die.
Oh, great. They're like everyone's abusive ex who's like, no, it's fine, there isn't a problem. She says, throwing your stuff out the window.
I mean, it's not that they say, no, it's fine, there isn't a problem. They say if they say anything, it will be along the lines of, you have failed me utterly and I have no more interest in you. But usually it's just a case of you wake up one day and them and all their stuff and quite a lot of yours is gone.
So like the other kind of abusive act.
Yeah, and then you end up buying half of it back on fragging Cedar Bay. Not that this ever happened to me.
I can tell.
Oh man, he was such a dick.
Oh, I thought this was Luna. No, okay.
Please. I've had more than one relationship, Toyger.
I mean, I've had less than one relationship. Like, I've had familiar relationships and friendships and teacher-student relationships and tooth extractor and tooth extractee relationships. I've never had, like, a girlfriend or anything like that.
Do you want one?
Not particularly.
I mean, okay then.
I mean, are you really going to say at this point, Sunshine, that it's a good idea?
I mean, can you imagine if I bred? Can you imagine little Toygers?
Oh god, yes I can. Oh god, no. Oh god, no.
I think it's a little...
Please, no. For the sake of meta-humanity, please get a vasectomy. I don't want this happening by accident.
I mean...
I think if the little Toygers wouldn't spend, like, 19 years being raised in, like, a normal household in society, they'd be growing up with the tooth abacus and the weird statues.
Yeah.
Toyger, you didn't grow up in normal society.
I grew up in a very normal society.
No, you did not.
I went to school, I had teachers, I had classmates.
Precisely. You didn't grow up in normal society.
You were minor corporate royalty.
Yeah, I'm sure you also had a fragging chauffeur and a butler.
I didn't have a chauffeur and a butler, they were my dad's chauffeur and butler.
Toyger, if you ever had crotch goblins, their form of rebellion against you would be to go away and become wage slaves.
That is one of the most savage insults I have ever heard.
At which point I would probably, like, drop dead from shame, so that I might have a grave to spin in.
What are your next steps, ladies and gentlemen? Your thoughts?
So my plan was, I just think it would generally be a good idea for us all to get a hold of those little scuttlebugs, and we could use them to try and get a hold of more pay data, which we can trade to Giuseppe or just sell on the Matrix. And I also think it would be fun if we all got our own one and we got to name it, and Huggy could give our ratings, like, give our names like ratings on like a scale of 0 to 1, 1 being like optimal Huggy would use again, and 0 being no.
Okay, so are we buying drones then?
Or Huggy could just get 3 and one of us could carry each of them.
Yeah, we all get one each, and then we all try and release them, and then we all get to use them for like fun, like crime
Huggy?
reasons.
You know somewhere where we could get these?
I know a few places where I could safely get them.
I mean, you're the drone person. I think you take the lead here.
What drone knowledge skills do you have, Huggy? Failing that, just active skills.
Computer background, local junkyards, drone mechanized agriculture.
Local junkyards, maybe?
Give me computer background. That's probably the most relevant here.
Warheads.
So, you know that these things, the microtapper bugs, they're not even illegal. They've got legit use. They're used by technicians all the time when they need to run fiber optic through a wall, or if there's been an outage, like due to damage or something like that, they'll just send a couple of these in. Like, I mean, you'd need to go to a moderately specialist shop, but I mean, they're not quite consumer electronics, but you don't need a license for them or anything. If you were buying them legit, you'd need a SIN, but they're not that uncommon.
I mean, yeah, I know a couple of places. Like the local, I think there's a couple of guys in Fresh Kills who run small tech shops who'd have them. If we want to go to Lurzog probably has half a dozen lying around. In fact, I would be surprised if it's only half a dozen. Lurzog probably has hundreds of those things, like, somewhere. You know those, when you, the shots in, like, games and stuff, and you turn the lights on and suddenly all the things scuttle away.
Yeah.
Like that, except for these little things.
He just pulls down a tool bin off the wall, puts it down. 1 bin of drones, another one. 2 bin of drones, 3 bin of drones.
But yeah, these things, you use them in everything from, like... I don't know a major, mechanical enterprise that doesn't use these things. You know the story about how they used to use weasels to build airplanes to, like, run the cables along lines?
No?
They what?
So there's this old story that when they were first building airplanes back in, like the olden days, before drones and stuff, when they were trying to put the cabling down the insides of planes, they would tie one end of the, like, put a harness on a weasel or like a stout or something like that, and then attach the end of the cable to the harness, and then have the stout run down the piping that they needed the cabling to go down.
Huh. Well, that's kind of genius, actually. If you don't have drones, but you've got, like, I don't know, a surfeit of stouts, I guess.
You don't have drones, you have creatures.
Creatures.
Yeah, so they do the same. They use these for roughly the same thing. If you need to rewire something, but you don't want to take it apart, then you send one of these in with the new wires and you loop it around. They're fairly easy to get hold of.
Okay. Well, okay. I mean, your call. Whoever you think's best for this. This is your specialty.
I think I'll just get these on the open market, to be honest. Either Arizon or just going down to the local electronics shop.
Alright, so we'll do this fairly quickly then. Which fake SIN are you using in order to buy these?
I'm Would it be possible to go to a local shop which isn't going to require a SYN check?
If you're buying them legit, you'd need to look around a little bit. We'll call it local junkyards, but at a -2 to find somewhere. You're looking for like a mom and pop electronics store.
That's 3 hits.
Yep, so you actually find somewhere. Are you guys still in Brooklyn? Where in the city are you right now?
I mean, if I'm going shopping for drones, I'm going back to Staten Island. I'm going back to my stomping grounds.
You know you're going to struggle for this in some of the Fresh Kills Warrens, or the Greater Warrens, but in Fresh Kills Park area, there's a few places that might do it. There's one that... It's like an electronics graveyard. Most of the stuff here is pre-crash 2.0. And when you go in, there's an actual, honest-to-God bell over the door that, rather than an electronic buzzer. And there's an old guy sat in there who he's got... At first, you think he's got magnifying goggles on like Lertzog was using. Then with a slight... you realise those are actually... No, those are just his cyber eyes and they're telescopic. And he's working on something, like micro-soldering a circuit board as you walk in. He's quite old.
Do I already know this guy, if I'm in Fresh Kills?
I'm going to say no.
Okay. I'll, give him a wave, say hello, and if he doesn't immediately respond, then I'll start just sort of looking around the shelves.
He holds his hand up as you say hello and puts his soldering iron down very carefully and lifts his head up to look at you, and the eyes, just telescopic eyes, retract back in and says, "Can I help you?"
Yeah, I'm looking to do some wiring work. I was hoping I could get some micro tappers.
I see. Yes, we can do those for you. Are you looking for the Aries ones, or I have some Fuji ones? They're a little out of date, but they're very reliable.
Could I have a look at the Fuji ones, actually?
Absolutely, yes, my dear. Come here. And he's... Jesus, this guy must have been around when Echo Mirage were doing their thing. He's like... Should you call him a hacker or a decker? He's quite doddery, and he comes around and he opens a drawer and says, "These are the Fuji drones. They're, as I say, they're very reliable. They tried to send some of these into the arcology, don't you know, when that nastiness happened about 10 years ago now, wasn't it, I think? And, it didn't go well, but nothing did with that, did it? So, do you want these, or shall I get out the Aries ones?"
Tell you what, if you have the time, I'd quite have a look at both of them, see which I think would work best.
Well, that circuit board won't solder itself, but, if you're looking to make a purchase today, then I can definitely do that for you.
I'm looking to buy 3 or 4, so yeah.
3 or 4? Yes, we can do that for you then. And he goes round and opens another drawer and puts them out next to each other. The Aries ones, they're a lot flashier and they've got like lightning bolts on them. And he says, "So these are the Aries ones. They've got upgraded legs, but the jaws, they're not as good for when you need to do wire cutting. This Aries stuff, it's all flash and no substance."
Yeah, I know that.
I like the Fuji ones. They're not as quick, but when they get there, they do the job better.
Well, if it does the job well the first time, you don't need to go do the job twice.
I quite agree. You see, that's why I had my arms replaced. And he's holding up his cyber arms. I said, as soon as I get my elbows on the table, I'm absolutely steady for the soldering. I had terrible shaking before, and it was such a problem. But since I got my cyber arms, it's been much better.
Yeah, I can imagine. Soldering is one of those things that you really need absolute stability for. slight slip, and you've connected the wrong components, and everything's gone haywire.
Oh, you would not believe how many boards I've fried before I got my arms. I'm very fond of my arms. I do like your cyber eye, by the way. It's a nice model. It's not as good for detailed work, I think, but it's a nice piece of equipment.
Yes, I've been not doing. I don't do quite as much detail work. I'm mostly doing, the wider range stuff. But it's really, really handy, especially for, when you're needing to get the view of a whole project in one go, and you can just take snapshots of it, zoom in on the right sections. It's so handy, just being able to control your vision more carefully, rather than having your eyes getting tired, or you just.
Oh, I quite agree. The eye strain, it used to be awful, and then I got these back in the 2040s, and they keep telling me to upgrade, but no, these are the right model for me. Anyway, shall we ring these up for you? You said wanted 3 or 4. How many would you like?
I'll go for 4. If I need, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Oh, I do quite agree. So that'll be 4,000 new yen. I would prefer that, you didn't pay in corp scrip. I can spend that at the stuffer shack, as long as it's but only if it has technology, and I don't like them very much, I've heard some horrible rumors about them, don't like them very much.
I can pay if it's new yen.
Oh, lovely. Will that be certified, or will you be paying?
I'm afraid I do not have a surfeit of certified.
Oh, well, I'm sure we can make other arrangements then. And he takes your cred stick, and you will have plenty in certified. It's how most runners get their cred. So
right, sorry, I didn't. Sorry, that was me not understanding.
Certified is just the dirty cash we get given for all our jobs.
Yeah, it's digital cash. It's NFT money, basically.
It's physical NFT money.
Yeah, but
you actually have to pass the cred stick around. You can't online them.
It's NFT that is actually backed up by a bank.
Yeah, which is in space.
Indeed.
Yes. I'll be paying certified.
Lovely. So that'll be 4,000 new yen then, my dear.
Right, certainly. I'll get out my cred stick, hand it over.
And he slots it, and the cred stick reader goes kaping, and you've paid the $4,000. So chuck it out to the room. What's this guy's name?
Wilbur.
He sounds like a Wilbur.
Okay.
I was going to say Bartholomew.
Wilbur
Wilbur
Bartholomew
Flint Whistle.
Sorry, was that Flint Whistle?
Yes.
Wilbur Bartholomew Flint Whistle. Okay, you may take him as a Loyalty 1 Connection 1 contact.
I love Wilbur.
We'll put him down as a vintage tech shop owner.
Social.
I'm not sure if I'm talking about the contents of the shop or the owner.
So what was that name again?
Wilbur Bartholomew Q Flint Whistle.
Thank you.
I'm now imagining a run where a couple of punks shake down his shop, and every Shadowrunner in New York suddenly turns up.
You hurt Grandpa. Now you pay.
May the Lord have mercy upon you, for I shall not.
That's him, skullfucker. That's the man who took my till. Go on, rip his legs off and beat him to death.
Yes, Wilbur. Right away, Wilbur. Would you like a cookie, Wilbur? I bet there's a whole generation of kids that call him Uncle Wilbur.
All right, so you've got some drones.
There you go. There's a nice emoted toy for you. Now off you go.
Oh, now was that the emoted toy that I meant to give him, or was that the one with the hand grenade? I can't remember.
Distant kaboom.
I imagine him and
Distressed screeching.
I imagine that him and Lurtzog get on like a house on fire.
Oh, relax, child. It was only a flashbang.
Once in my youth, I was flashbanged 3 times in one day. It's how I got my cyber eyes.
It was such an interesting day when we were in the bank when they tried to rob it and the HTR turned up.
Oh, this guy is brilliant.
Stop torturing me, Rhydian. This is too much.
So Wilbur has a fantastic backstory. Brilliant. So you've got your drones, Huggy. You've gained yourself a contact. Are you doing anything else?
No, I'm going to be taking these drones back and
I want to name my drone. Which one's mine?
the blue one.
Are they distinct?
I'm taking out nail polish and putting a little bit of nail polish on the top of each one.
You should number them. 1, 2, 3, and 6.
You magnificent prick.
I like your thinking. Let's go for it.
Dips on 3.
Dibs on 1.
I will take number 2 then.
Right, 6 is mine.
Thank you for spending some time with us and listening to the Pride Against Prejudice podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show and look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks' time for our next episode. In the meantime, glossing over how phenomenally stupid the team's wizard is, the team seem to love Wilbur. We all have those NPCs we fell in love with instantly. Please let us know all about yours on Discord. Intro is More Human Than Human by Karl Casey, and the background music is also by Karl Casey. Outro music is Neon Thrills by Luck Hash, and all sound effects are credited in the show notes. The Tops Company Inc. has granted permission to the Pride Against Prejudice podcast to use such names, logos, artwork, marks, and or any other proprietary material for promotional and informational purposes on its website, but does not endorse and is not affiliated with the Pride Against Prejudice podcast in any official capacity whatsoever. All other works mentioned in this podcast remain the property of their respective owners. The Pride Against Prejudice podcast is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 license. So if you want to use any part of the show, please give us the credit. See you next time, chummers.